What are your top 3 cybersecurity threats or concerns for this year? Today, I'm going to share with you my top 3, and then I'm going to dive deep into one that I know we're going to see a significant surge in attacks this year, and then I'm going to end with a demo using a social engineering tool to harvest credentials that could be used for spearphishing campaign. With that said, let's get right into it. Now, malware is a term that describes any malicious code or program that is harmful to a computer system. Now, you may have heard of virus, worms, Trojan, spyware, adware, as well as ransomware. Now, they are all designed with the intention of stealing, deleting, or encrypting data. Also, they modify and hijack computer functions, including spying on your computer's activity without your permissions or your knowledge. Now, for the rest of this video, I'm going to focus on ransomware because I know we're going to see a huge spike in attacks this year because the cybercriminals have figured out a proven and profitable business model with ransomware. Now, the cybercriminals are more sophisticated, they are more innovative, and they are more creative with their attacks. Now, gone are the days of the tactics of spray and pray, blast phishing attacks. Now, they are more targeted, they are more tailored attacks going forward. With that, I'm going to spend the rest of the video explaining to you what ransomware is, how it works, and what you can do to prevent your company or your organization from falling victim to ransomware. What is ransomware? In layman's terms, ransomware prevents users from accessing their system or personal files and demands ransom payments in order to regain access. There are different types of ransomware, such as screen lockers and scareware, but I focus mainly on the encrypting ransomware as shown here on the screen because it is effective and it has proven to make a profit for the cybercriminals. With the new business model, once the cybercriminals gain a foothold into an organization's network, they will first exfiltrate the data, search and delete any backups, and then encrypt the files. With the data on hand, they will put pressure on organizations to pay ransom to obtain the decryption keys. If the organizations don't comply, they will threat to publish the data. Expect the ransoms or cyber extortion amount to be much larger, as we've seen it with TravelX. The ransom was 6 million versus tens or hundreds of thousands when compared to previous years. We see more attacks targeting state and local government organizations, hospitals, and schools, as they are the most vulnerable and ill-prepared to respond. So how does ransomware enter into an organization? There are different methods to infect an organization with ransomware. The infection vectors include installing and downloading infected software and applications, accessing infected external storage devices or compromised websites. But the go-to method of attack is still social engineering, opening email attachments, clicking on links from untrusted source. So what can organizations do to prevent and prepare for ransomware? 1. Back up critical data and have backups ready to go. Ideally, store backups in different locations with high-level encryption and multi-factor authentications, since ransomware is known to target and delete backups. 2. Patch and update software, particularly legacy systems that are susceptible to attacks. And 3. End user is still the weakest link, so bolster training and awareness program. Finally, 4. This is critically important, having an up-to-date business continuity and disaster recovery plan. Conduct tabletop crisis exercises to practice and to prepare. As states here with the 6 Ps, proper planning and preparations prevents poor performance. Does your BCDR plan take into the consideration of pain or no pain situations? For example, law enforcement advises against paying ransoms, as paying incentivizes cybercriminals to conduct more attacks. Given this advice, will your organization pay ransom? Before you answer this question, take these two breaches with different approaches into consideration. First, when Baltimore City was infected with Robinhood ransomware last year, it refused to pay the $76,000 ransoms demand, with the end result of being unable to work around the encryption and then spending $10 million in recovering efforts and then lost $8 million in revenue. 2. Jackson County, Georgia was hit with the Ryuk ransomware and they paid $400,000 for the decryption keys. If they didn't pay the demands, it would have taken them months to rebuild the systems from scratch and would have cost them more than $400,000. While not paying is a valid advice, it may not be the right decision for every organization. It is important to separate the emotion when under pressure to making the decision. The decision must be what is the best for the organization, what is the most cost-effective and efficient solution to restore business back to operational. Now, I'm going to demo how a cybercriminal might use a social engineering tool similar to the one in the demo to harvest credentials. Then, they use the information gathered to craft a targeted spearphishing campaign. For this demo, I will be cloning a website and harvesting credential that could be used for a spearphishing or social engineering campaign. I've already set up a virtual environment for Kali Linux. I'm choosing Social Engineering Toolkit, selecting Social Engineering Attacks, Website Attack Vectors, Credential Harvester Attack Method, and then finally, the Site Cloner option. Since I'm on a localhost, I will be using this IP address shown here instead of an external address. Now you can also check your localhost IP address by doing a ifconfig as shown here on the screen. The URL that I want to clone for this demo is Facebook. I'm copying Facebook URL and pasting it here. This page provides a summary of the IP address and the site cloning information. And I'm going to hit return to acknowledge and continue. Here it shows that any hit of any credentials will also be displayed in the bottom. In this scenario, I've created this email ahead of time and I can use it to send it to my target. I'll replace the IP address with Facebook URL. Now, assuming that my target received the email and clicked on the Facebook URL, it will take her to the sign-on page through my IP address. Notice that the IP address shown here, it's my localhost. If my target didn't pay attention to the malicious URL, she would then enter her email and password to try to sign into Facebook. Only if I could type. She will then click login. Here, I'm going to show the password that my target provided. Her username is "this is a test only" and this is her password. Now, it'll take her back to the login screen, but notice that now it has the correct, legitimate Facebook URL. My target could be thinking that she had entered the wrong username or password. In the background, her credential has been logged and you can see it right here. Now, I can use this credential to log into her Facebook account and gather personal and sensitive information that I can use for spearphishing or social engineering campaign. Now, there you have it. my top 3 cybersecurity concerns for 2020. You have the supply chain attacks, insider threats, and malicious software. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you find it insightful and informative. If you like this content, please subscribe to Curiosity, where security meets curiosity. Your support inspires and encourages me to continue creating these videos and sharing knowledge. Until next time, keep learning, stay secure, and stay curious.